Right. Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, actually. And let me start off by saying a very Merry Christmas to you and your family from the team here at Ministry Media Mastery. We are honored to be in your presence today, and thank you for giving us your time this morning. What we're going to do today, what I want to do is do a video masterclass. And the objective of this is it's aimed at ministries, or if you're in business as well, you're a coach or you're just a small business. Videos could do wonders for your business in terms of visibility, credibility, influence, building trust, etc. And today we're going to break down. What I've done is I've looked at everything that I've ever taught, all the material that I've put together, like ever so far, and I've looked at what of these can be applied to video. And today in this masterclass, I'm going to teach every single thing, and it's going to be awesome. So the objective is for you to take away the skills and the knowledge on how can I build my ministry or my business with video, and what is that going to entail. And I'm very excited. If you're watching, say hi in the comments, tell us where you're watching from, and also what does your day look like after this video. What are you going to do for the rest of the day? We'd love to hear what you're going to do. Let's get right into it. I want to show you a profile or a ministry that I had the honor of working with a couple years ago, where we have built a ministry in video. And I love telling this story. It's my flagship platform. It's a platform that we've been using and we've been working on, and it's probably the best example of a ministry where we've used video to grow that specific ministry. So I'm just going to open up and share my screen here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a YouTube. I'm going to open a Google tab for this one. Let's see how that works. All right, and if I can share it here, I'm going to go back to share screen. Okay, and click on screen here. Right. YouTube, Google Chrome. Okay, we're going to share that screen. Right, and this is a screen. I'm going to quickly go to the account, and we're going to show you what have we done, what's possible, and we're going to tell you the story. And these videos that we're talking about here is also the same strategy that we've used on YouTube. You can use it on Facebook. You can use it on IGTV if you like. Just remember that your videos have to be adapted for the platform in terms of size, audience, length, content, etc. So make sure that that is happening. So I'm going to go in here. This is Dr. Frank Thomas. He's a preacher's coach, and we loved working on this platform. He is a phenomenal teacher, human being. He's a professor of, he's now recently actually got a very honorary position. He's a professor talking about preaching, etc. And so I want to show you a couple of things, but the first thing I want to do, is I want to go into, and we're going to teach this today. We're going to teach this in this class. We're going to teach how we've done this, how we got these results, and what the methodology is here. I just want to quickly go on to the video in the profile here so I can see. Okay. All right. So we're going to go all the way down. In fact, let's go to playlists first. All right. And what I'm doing here, before I start teaching, I want to show you what has happened, and then I want to tell you how we got there. This is a series called Preaching a Celebration. This is a kind of a book that he's written back then. It was 2016, I think. And we did a series of videos on this specific topic. And we're going to teach you today kind of just the video side on how did we exactly get that. The content development itself, we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk just about video. And I want to see if I can get the results here. No. All right, we're going to have to scroll in the actual video section down here. Let's go. And I want to show you some of the results. And as I scroll, let me just highlight again, if you haven't heard my framework that I teach, it is 4 pillars for a successful ministry media platform. And what that framework is the following. It is content, consistency, community, and collaboration. And so one of the things that is important for video is that you have a content strategy, that you know exactly what you want to say, who it's for, how can you give the community that is in front of you that you want to serve, how can you give them the maximum value? Because that's how you build a ministry. You show a audience that you care about them, and you show them you care about them by giving them value, giving them solutions. And so, Dr. Frank, we had two different series that we were working with. One was about preaching. The other one was more like a life skill or a life coaching topic. And so let's look at some of the results here. Here we're doing an introduction to Preaching a Celebration. A Preaching a Celebration is a book of his, 1,300 views. Not bad if you look at the small niche and the kind of ministry. We want to get your, there's better results than this, but you want to get your videos to be watched by a couple of people. We're not even going to look at comments here, but also the engagement of the community is really great. 1,200 views, 2,600 views, really great results. There's a couple here that's really, really awesome. 1,500, 1,200, 1,400. Now, to get those kind of views on something, a niche or a topic as small as preaching as celebration, I think is really, really phenomenal. There's where to get sermon illustrations, 1,500. I don't think this platform has reached its full potential yet. We'll reach out to Dr. Frank sometime and say, hey, let's maybe get a team together and let's get your stuff. 3,000. Okay, this is living your passion. This is the life skills or the life coaching topic that we had. 3,500 views on that. 3 keys of spiritual leadership. And so this is, we go, and when we develop the content, we break down the content in topics or themes, and then break them down into topics, and we go and teach. This is something worth mentioning. An impromptu webinar. We did one post on Facebook, for instance, promoting this the day before, I think. A video of 49 minutes. Topic is 5 unnoticed mistakes in preaching. 13,000 views that we were able to achieve there, which is also phenomenal for this ministry and this topic, this close niche. And so this is the content part, and where the consistency comes in that we were talking about. So if you look at this, there's 2 different series here. All right, we did this in series format. The one is Preaching as Celebration, this is one of the videos in Preaching as Celebration. And then on the other side was Living Your Passion. You'll see I hashtagged them. Ain't no hurt like a church hurt, right? Living Your Passion. And so we had 2 series. And so that helped us with the consistency. And I think they went out Mondays and Wednesdays, or Mondays and Fridays. So just again, going through the framework that I want you to be aware of is content, consistency. The next one is community. We're not going to talk about it in this webinar. I am working on some great content. It's going to be phenomenal. The next one is then collaboration. Let's show you what happens when you start collaborating. Now, look at all these results. The best one that we've seen so far is maybe 3,500 on a very narrow, small topic. I'm happy with the webinar getting 13,000 views. I'm happy with, there's obviously lots of potential. The world is big. There's lots of people in it. And we are upskilling ourselves and getting us to a different level. So let's just look at this. Is double the results of the best one that we've seen, 6,500 views. This is a collaboration. Did an interview with Otis Moss Jr. That's not the best thing so far. Let's go down here. I want to show you some of the things that's really been achieved here. And it's really phenomenal. And it's lots of things that, this is all about building. He's doing collaborations with other people, noticing that they also have value to give to the communication or the conversation. And so he's bringing all these experts together, great people in the Black preaching, African preaching community, and they come and share their views. So a lot of them, just under, a lot of them like 300, 500, 800, 1,400 views. Look here, 15,000 views. Now I'm assuming that the leverage of her community helped achieve that. That's usually what happens. Here's another one. Bishop Timothy J. Clark, 10,000 views. That's not the best even. I'm going to show you now. And so there's a lot of content that was made here. All right. And there was, and these are phenomenal, like heartwarming. They're really great. It's all his peers that came together, and really phenomenal results. Have a look at this. Dr. Marcus D. Cosby, 24,000 views on that specific video. So that is really exciting, because this is all about, if you're going to build a platform and you start using collaboration as a strategy, I believe that you can 10x your platform. Look there, 5,500 views. And really proud of him. And I gotta say, he's been doing these things with after we were working together. And obviously, it's COVID. He did those on Zoom. Really, really phenomenal. Very proud of him. Very, very proud and happy about this result here. And got phenomenal results. So what will video do for your ministry? Your video will do for your ministry what nothing else can do for you. It will give you influence. It will grow your audience. It will give you a sense of purpose. You'll build your community. You'll increase your influence. And whatever your objective is, and that's usually what we do when we start building a platform. We ask, what is the objective? Is the objective to grow your church? Is it to raise leadership? Is it to fund a building? What is the objective? And then we reverse engineer the entire strategy, the content strategy, of which video is a big part of, because out of video can come so many things, and I think we're going to teach that today. And so that is kind of what we're looking at. And so I wanted to just kind of share that with you. And I wanted to, hello Tumwa, welcome. I think he's from Kenya. Thank you for watching. If you are watching, and anytime, even afterwards, please post your questions. Tell us where you're from. We really love engaging with our audience and valuing them. So again, video could do an incredible amount. And so the ministries that do really well are the ones that hustle with content and video, right? Because out of video, so many different things can come out of that. An incredible amount of stuff can come out of that, because video can be, and I think we're going to teach that. So let me leave that for now. Video can do a lot of things for you, for your ministry. All right. And people don't have to consume your video. They can consume the audio of the video. But for you, the biggest hurdle that I find for ministries is actually saying, I'm going to commit to creating content. That's the first thing. What is that content? Well, let me prepare it. Let me put it together. And that is a different webinar by itself. Today, we're going to focus on the power of video and how does that work. And I think it's good that we dive straight into that and share with you how does video work as a strategy. And so I'm going to share with you my screen here, and we're going to go into, it's loading. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Merry Christmas. Thank you for joining us on this video content masterclass. Remember, it's a ministry video content masterclass. And if you are not in ministry, you're just in business, you have a small business, you're an entrepreneur, this will apply to you as well. So God bless you. Enjoy the content. Let's dive straight into it. The first thing when you start creating content, it's like pushing a train uphill, right? There's this big mountain in front of you and you don't know where to start and what to do. It could also be like trying to kickstart a Boeing. It's very difficult. It's a big machine, and what are you going to do? So I'm going to give you some keys, some places where you can go for inspiration for your content. Because what I want you to do is I want you to follow this framework: content, consistency, community, collaboration. And the content is the starting point. And so the question that you may ask yourself is, okay, what content am I going to create? Where am I going to, how am I going to do it, etc. And I'm going to help you through all of that today in this video. All right. And so I'll ask you, if you're watching, please share this with someone in ministry, even someone in business, if you feel they could benefit from this. Also, what you can do is you can click below, and when you share, you can start a watch party on your platform and really help your community also benefit from this specific masterclass today. So knowing that content is a key, and how do I create it, and all the hurdles that's in front of us before we do that, I want to share with you some sources for inspiration for your content, places that you can go and look, that you can find. I have already created content. And so we might be doing this class and saying content is key. You're going to create content in the form of video. This class is about video, but we need to go and find the content first. What are we going to create videos about? And here are some sources of inspiration for you. And there's the first one. A ministry. Now, sermons could also be, if you relate that to business, it could be presentations, talks that you've done, etc. But sermons, let's be honest, you're doing a sermon. If you have a church, right, you're doing a sermon every single week. The chances that you are doing them in serialized formats or in themes, most churches, a lot of churches do them like a monthly theme. Like right there is already a series for you. There's something that, and if you do a series of 4, that's wonderful. That's a great place to start. So going to look at your sermon topics. What are you constantly talking about? What is the Holy Ghost leading you to do over and over and over? Are you talking about leadership? Are you talking about fellowship? Are you talking about community? What are you talking about? That is a strength that you're going to use as inspiration for the content that you're going to create when you attempt to going to do video. Podcasts. If you're creating podcasts in any format, right? Now, for me, a podcast is a properly produced show where you focus on putting it out and distributing it large. We used to think that, okay, I'm converting my video to audio, and now that's a podcast. No, that's not a podcast. You've just your content is available in audio. A podcast is where you're intentionally creating a community, etc. And we'll talk about that at a later stage. Today, I want to focus on using your podcast material and topics as inspiration for your videos. Next one, books. Books is a great place. If you've written books, that's what we've done with Dr. Frank, the platform that I've just showed you. He's written a couple books. And so during the time that we've worked together, we've taken his, what is that series called? Living Your Passion. It was a book. And out of the book, we took concepts and we did small videos on those. It helps create not just the consistency, but it creates a mindset. It creates a value proposition. And we say, here are some of the concepts that we're constantly talking about and reiterating it and referring back to our previous concepts and just keep on going. And this was such a powerful platform that we built with video, that we did Living Your Passion, we did Preaching and Celebration, and we built content for a whole year. And we produced those content in 3 days. All right, which is really powerful. It saved him a lot of time, money, effort, etc. And so we helped him just get that out. The next one is that's the power that you can do with books. And with him, he even brought out a third book at the end of our relationship. And so do you have courses? Any courses that you might I have a simple course about the foundations of Christianity. You might have simple courses on finances. And so those, if you've created content around that, those are great places to look for inspiration. Then just what is your experiences? Are you an experienced fisherman? Great way to tell stories and analogies and use that in terms of the gospel, etc. And do you have any solid teachings that you're doing? Those are things as well that you can look at. And this is going to skip this because this is a repeat of that. And now let's talk about the value of proper preparation. Now, the preparation process that I'm talking about here is the full scope of, okay, let me go and look at inspiration. Let me look at the topics that I want to talk about. Let me go and expand on that. So I take a theme, I make topics, and I try to get at least 12 topics out of that. That's how much work is in one series. Depending on your capacity, I don't think we'll talk about it here, but depending on your capacity, you could do 2 of those series, and that will really give you a lot of momentum. If you're really, really good, you'll go and do 3. And so that is the kind of thing that we're looking for. And going to take those topics and expand them and really dig out of yourself what you have to give to the world. That is what we're talking about here. And so the value of that process is better content delivery, right? You're going to have great content that people feel that's valuable, and they are going to appreciate that, and they are going to become a part of your community. Next, there's less time spent in post-production. Less time spent in post-production. How does that work? Well, if I'm delivering my content, my videos, a lot of times there might be ums and ahs, there might be pauses, there might be mistakes, and then you have to go back and redo something. And so that is a nightmare for an editor. So in post-production, you make your team really happy if you deliver your content with as little mistakes as possible. Next is deliver from the passion inside of you. So this relates more to scripting, right? So a lot of times people would write down their thoughts on a piece of paper or have things typed out. And so a lot of times they'll take that and they'll kind of read from it, right? And I've done that at the beginning of my career, and it's robotic. It's annoying. People don't want to watch that. They want to see your eyes light up. You'll be passionate, excited about what you're doing, and just that's where we're talking about scripture, the rivers of living waters just flowing from inside of you. And I really believe that's where it's from. It eradicates mistakes, misquotes, and contradictions. And yes, that word is not mosquitoes, it's misquotes. And what this relates to, again, is talking about the time that's used in post-production. If I eradicate the mistakes, misquotes, and contradictions. We worked with someone once, and he wanted to bring over a concept. And he brought the concept over in the wrong way. And so the whole video couldn't be used because the wrong it's like using an object lesson, and the wrong object was used to bring the point across, and so that was completely on me. The key here is the preparation process. Your content delivery, the day that you go and you produce the content, like everybody's in a room and you're going to now shoot the content in video format, that's 10% of the work. That's hard work that day, but it's just 10% of the work. You're going to spend 90% of your time in preparation. And it is that important. Okay. And obviously, there's different levels of preparation. What kind of preparation are you talking about, Ivan? What kind of levels? Let's talk about that. It's going to be preparing your content. Just being mindful of what you need to say, going through it in your mind, making sure that well is overflowing from inside of you. It's going to be preparing your team, making sure that you've got your team together. They have a briefing. They know what is expected. The vision has been cast. It's going to be your equipment, preparing your equipment, making sure you have everything, preparing for the day. There's different levels of preparation that we won't go too deep into here today. I'm just going to break this apart. I want to quickly go back and look at the community. There's a Facebook user there that says, "Thank you so much." I can't see who you are, so you'll see there's in most places there's a little button. It looks like you're from Facebook. Just click on that link. It says StreamYard/Facebook. If you click on that, give them permission to give us your name, that we can acknowledge you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Again, if you're watching this and you're enjoying the content, please do us a favor and go and share this with someone. If you're on Facebook, create a watch parties, share it on your group or your Facebook profile or your page even. Really appreciate that, and keep the comments coming, especially if you have questions. Please post them up. I'll pause every now and then and just come back here to the interface and look at what questions we've got. Thank you so much. Let's carry on with the teaching, the presentation. Give me a second here. Okay. Let's hope it starts. Yes. Okay, I've done that. All right. Now I'm going to share with you my personal preparation process. How do I prepare for my videos? I've been doing videos for a long time, and we pride ourselves and our clients in delivering great content, and so we're also learning YouTube and so on. And a lot, some of my videos have reached great velocity, and so we're very proud of that. But obviously, your process in preparing your content, one of the keys are going to be preparing prayerfully. All right, and there's many levels of that. You gotta pray before you start with your content development and your themes and your topics, because that has got to be something that is God driven. It's got to be Holy Spirit inspired, and so that's something that you want to do. You want to pray about what direction am I going. You want to pray about helping you prepare it in the process, delivering the process, all those kind of things. We mentioned just being led by the Holy Ghost is very important. What I'm doing here is I'm coaching you on the processes that make for successful video production, delivery, etc. And it's a key in ministry. All right, and so following a coaching process or a coach that helps you with the process could be very valuable to you. It is said that coaching can improve whatever you're doing from 30 to 50%. Your preparation process, my preparation process, is systematically, and I think you picked it up by now. There is the inspiration, there is the coming together and saying, what are we going to do? Identifying my objective, what do I want to reach? That will influence who do I talk to, what do I give to them, etc., etc. The next portion in the system is, okay, now let me go and break everything apart. Let me have a mind map or a list, or have lists of things that I'm going to talk about. Next, I'm going to say, okay, let me go and talk about, let me now go and actually go through my content. Do I recite it? That's a good idea, but I do want to warn you. I want to say that over preparing is also a thing. Okay, so I might have my topics here and I'm like, okay, let me talk through this thing, let me talk through that thing, and there could be over preparation. I like when you sit in front of the camera and you start talking from, remember what I taught you, from just delivering from the passion inside of you, that it's as raw and as new as possible. It must be new to you as well. And that's why we prepare, but we also deliver from outside of here. And so when it's outside of your innermost being, that's when your value comes out. And that's where we also don't want to over prepare. And then obviously giving your best, right? There's this old adage of, let's do it as if our life depends on it. And so your life might not depend on it, but someone else's life may depend on it. And so that is very, very important, that you give your 150%. Let's just go back to that. I want to say this. I have this saying that I like using. I don't use it too often, but I do use it. And I want to leave this with you. I want to give it to you. It's a really powerful concept. If you give everything you've got, every time that you do anything, you'll be the best. You'll be successful. Your videos and your strategy will reach its objective. Obviously, drawing from inspiration. So we were talking about using other content that you've created, sources as inspiration, inspiration from above, inspiration from your audience. What do they need? How am I going to impact them today? Those kind of things are important. And so let's talk about the scale of your video ministry. And I want to pause here and just go and check again. What does the community look like and what are they saying? Tuma says, I like that God first and God led. Yes, Tuma, that is what it's about. And it's very important that we do it that way. So let's talk about scale. Ivan, what are you talking about? So scale is, so my video scale could be one level and it could be multiple levels. And how is that? How am I going to achieve that? Well, you do it by what I taught you earlier in this teaching is videos, is serialized content. And so apparently, I don't know, but apparently on YouTube there is a series, there's playlist, but there's also a hidden series functionality as well, and it helps you promote your videos. So one series for me is at least 12 videos, and that will give you 3 months worth of content. That why. So let me talk about this process quickly. Again, process. Remember, without process, there's no progress. Without process, there's no progress. And so what I'm teaching you is not something that you can do in one day. It's going to take at least 3 months to get here. All right. And I want to give you the fundamentals of how do you do that. And so, again, one series of content. You're going to spend time preparing your content and making sure that you can deliver your videos. And so it leads up to one production day. Depends on how hard you want to work on that day. You can work really hard and you can get 3 series out of between 6 and 12 videos each, or you can get 2 series out of 12 videos each. You can get 1 video series out of 12 videos, but that's like a half a day for us. We can bang that up in 3 hours. So if you're going to spend a day, if you're going to look, I want to encourage you with this. If you're going to spend the money on getting a team together, paying for equipment, hiring a venue, or preparing a venue even, you want to make the most of it. And that's why we teach people to maximize that time. Some of our clients we've worked with, we started at 8, we finish at 8 at night. So that 12 hours, and then we bang out like 6 months worth of content. So the minimum that you want to commit yourself to, commitment to scale is important, is that you go and say, I want to create 1 series of 12 videos. 1 series is a theme, 12 topics, 3 months worth of content after that production day. And after post-production has happened. And so the frequency of your posts is going to be 2 to 3 posts a week, depending on the depth. And we'll explain depth in a moment. So what's going to happen is out of these videos, you're going to have 1 video in 1 series allocated to a week. And out of that video, the potential of that's why I want to inspire you to do as much great work in the preparation process as possible, because that 90% of preparation that you do is going to result in the following. You can have 1 video allocated to a week in that team, right? 1 video, that's 1 topic. That video, you then go and convert, and now it's available in audio, right? Your audio, we've got a great tool which we could transcribe literally in seconds. That audio is transcribed to text, and now it becomes a blog post or an article, right? Or an email, whatever the case may be. That video then goes, and that text out of this whole process is then taken 1 or 2 profound statements or takeaways, and you put that in an image, right? And now you've got an image or 2 that you can post that week, right? And that's 4 pieces of content already from just 1 thing that you've done, right? That's from 1 series. You can go on. You can go on from there. I mean, your videos, we'll talk about depth in a moment. Now, if you have 2 series, you have 24 videos. That's also 3 months worth of content, but you've now increased your scale and your capacity. And now we're talking about a frequency of 5 to 8 posts a week. So now your 2 videos become 2 audios it becomes 2 articles, it becomes 2 images. There's 8 posts in 1 week already. Now, that is a good start for a ministry in terms of visibility, etc. My mentor encourages us to do 30 pieces of content a day. It's possible, and it will bring you a lot of success, but this is a great start. And so there is methods that we teach that you can now go and create content in between, like for instance quick live videos at a location talking about what you're doing. See, you have to constantly be storytelling. When you're doing storytelling, it's going to be great for you. Your width depends on the amount of platforms that you have. So now we're talking about video. Video is syndicated to Facebook, to YouTube, to Vimeo, to IGTV or Instagram TV. And so there's already 4 different places. That's width. That's how wide you can go. All right. And depth talks about the content formats. So we've already shared with you. Video can become an audio, can become text, can become image, etc., etc. All right. And so this is the preferred scale that we like to work with. So before we go into video as format and what the potential of video can give you, we've done a couple of that already. I'm going to quickly look at the comments here. Please, if you're watching and you have a question, please post it. We would gladly answer it in this webinar. That's why we are doing this, is to give you value and to increase your video game for your ministry or your business. Let's go to the next portion, video as format. Let me just quickly have a look here. We're on slide 7 of 39. Isn't phenomenal? Let's go. Now, video as format. Video can go out scheduled. Now, this video that I'm talking about, as far as I've taught so far, we're talking about planned, scheduled, produced video content. Now, as I mentioned, you can go in between that. You can increase your capacity by doing lives from locations, by doing interviews, something like this. We're just going and you're just teaching, right? Value to a community. It could be, hey, I am, you could do a Facebook Live in your community. You've got a community. That's what I'm doing here. This is a Facebook Live video on a dedicated community that serves ministries with their media. So that's the different levels of this that you can go. Video streaming, we're talking about live streaming your service, live streaming an announcement, whatever the case may be. We spoke about live video. And so those are the different formats that you can use video on your platform. Let's talk about the benefits of video for a second. All right. And so videos can be put into playlists. I've shown you a little bit of how we use that strategy in a platform and why do we use playlists. Playlists we use especially on YouTube because you can go and share the link of that video with someone, and after they watch the video, they will be introduced into the rest of the content in the series, which helps promote it. And it also shows, hey, I've got more to say about this, right? And so if you click on it, it's on a playlist. Someone watches the video on YouTube, it will show you what's the next video in the series, what was the previous videos. And so that's really, really powerful marketing tool for you and your ministry. There's also the series function on YouTube. I haven't personally tested that out, but that's really powerful as well. And what playlists do is it obviously keeps the content together in the theme. And so I encourage you to use that as much as you can. Next up, videos. The potential for videos is that you can cross-promote your videos on different platforms. And so we've shared already how wide we can go with those videos. You could repurpose your videos. We've shared that as well. So videos becomes audios, etc., etc. You could use a video on your teaching. This is what we've done before. You could put your video on, for instance, YouTube, right? And it's free. Now I go and take all my videos, put them together, and we've actually built a course. It's not about necessarily the videos. The videos are free, but you go and do the videos, and then you have an interaction like a masterclass or a mastermind or a group coaching session where people sit together and they're like, let's engage and let's make this happen. So you could repurpose your content in various different ways, or your videos. Let's talk about repurposing of video content quickly and see what we haven't covered. We've done audio conversion. We've done transcription. Subtitling. Now, it's something that I haven't done before, and I'm definitely going to do that in 2021, right? Where I put subtitles in my videos where people can watch the video. They don't need to have the sound on, but they can read the content, right? So your transcription goes into your video as transcribed. Here's a trick for you as well. Your videos on YouTube can be automatically transcribed. There's a button that you go, I think it's only available on your pages. Go and post your video and it will do the subtitling for you automatically. It's not going to be perfect, so you might want to go into the file and just check that out. All right, so let's talk about when you repurpose your video content, what's the potential from that? When you talk about the audio conversion, what can it give you? It can give you podcasts. Now, I said before that, listen, just taking your video and converting it to audio, that's not a podcast for me. That's just, it's available in audio. Because a podcast should be intentional. It should be serving a specific audience. It should be promoted by itself. It should serve a purpose, etc. So here's what I do. And it will, again, show you how you can mine out the potential out of content. So a week ago, I did an interview with the former live director from Bethel Church. And we had an hour-long interview and discussion. What am I going to do with that? Well, first of all, what I've done is I've live streamed that interview. And I live streamed it to my profile, to my Facebook, to a Facebook group, and also to YouTube. So that's the potential that I had, that I did it for. Okay. The second thing that I've done with that is I've converted it to audio, and we have broadcasted it on radio. Right. And we will see that potential just now. What I've done also, if I've used the audio and I've done the intro and the outro differently because it's a different audience, and I'm going to use that for a podcast that I'm going to launch end of January, but a proper podcast, and distribute it on Apple, etc., etc. So it could become an audio series or a podcast playlist. So just putting it on a platform like SoundCloud, and it's, again, thematic. People can go and you can grow an audio community. All right. Audiobooks. So here's what I've done before. I've taken sermons that I've preached. All right. And so here again, if you're recording your sermons, convert them to audio. Take the audio, transcribe it. Now you have a book, a possible book, or even a media book. Put it on the media devices. Back in the day, we got things like iPods. We put audios on there, use them as material. Radio shows, I've mentioned that before. And so let's look at some more potential. Transcription. When you transcribe your audio or your video, I'm just hearing something. What you have a potential for is that you can create articles, post articles from that. You can have class materials. Would you give me a second? I want to just quickly pause this presentation for just a couple of seconds. I want to check what's going on. Apologies, it is Christmas and we do have a family around us, so we're just working with that. Tuma says the challenge is gadgets to make it successful. Yes, Tuma, I think we might speak about that in this webinar today. So let me just re-engage this for a second. And we're talking about transcription, the potential of your transcriptions. Let's see. All right, so we spoke about articles, class material. So here's the potential again. If you do videos in serialized format, especially if you talk about specific topics like the gifts of the Holy Spirit or foundations of the gospel, etc., what happens is you have this material in video that you could use to teach with. You could do it live teaching and present the material because you've transcribed your content and now it's available in class material and you can have books, etc. So this is how Bible schools are born. Right? You have years of teaching, video, audio, etc. It's transcribed. You would put it, just format a little bit. It's in a book, and that's how it happens. You have courses. So one of my strengths are leadership, and so that's something that you could do. You could go and take your content, and it can become course material. Right. Let's look at the opportunities in collaboration and what videos has to do with it. Remember, collaboration is one of our pillars that we teach here at Ministry Media Mastery, and it is the content types that's the opportunities in collaboration. So what kind of videos can I create when I collaborate with other people? And here is one of them, expert roundups. So it could be interviews, it could be a roundtable. People sit together and I bring someone else in. Let's say I'm strong in leadership and someone else is strong in church growth. And we talk about how do these things interlink together, right? The next one is user generated. So you could ask your audience, hey, I'm looking for what you as a family do together during Christmas. Outside of giving gifts and whatever, what activities do you do? Share with me a video and share a video response with me. That's user-generated content that could be, again, used and repurposed into other content. Case studies. So you could go and you could, like I did at the beginning of this webinar, I went through a platform that we've worked on before. It's a case study and I share kind of what have we done, what was the results, what was the purpose, etc. Interviews. Very, very strong point of mine is doing interviews with others. I love that because I know I only have a part of the puzzle. Someone else has another piece of the puzzle. And so I'm trying to build this big puzzle by bringing in all these experts on my platform and sharing it with them. Guest blog posts. Okay. So when I came up, I did video teachings, transcribed them, put them into audios. And I got that material, put it on another person's platform to build my visibility. Great opportunity for you. Deep dives, again, sitting around a table, everybody sits around. You're sitting at the end or wherever, and people are asking questions, and you're feeding back to them, etc. And also Q&A. So just doing a live video and paying attention to your community's needs and saying, hey, let's answer your questions here. Okay. What are some of the formats that is an opportunity when you collaborate? And again, let's go through the breakdown. Video becomes voice, becomes text, photos. Photos could be selfies, events. I'm not going to talk about that. That's not the focus of this. But let's go into the actual production process, like the content production blueprint. This is some of the content out of my blueprint that I share. And so one of the things that's important we look at is Luke 14:20-28, where it says, which of you desiring to build a tower, let's say you're building this media ministry, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether there is enough to complete it. Now, what we do is we go and we look at, do I have what is necessary to make this happen? In most cases, you will have, because you'll at least have this. And this is enough to start. If you don't have this, I had someone come to me from Mpumalanga here in South Africa, a remote area, came to me, said, please teach me. And I said, okay, first thing we're going to do is we've got to get this, because this is a minimum thing that you kind of need. There are other ways to do it, but this is like the ideal is to at least have this. And so that's where you start. So in our ministry, we teach ministries of, okay, let's do an audit, content audit, equipment audit, human resource audit, human capital audit. What do I have to work with? And then we work on a strategy. We start casting vision, getting people involved, seeing what do we have, and we use it from there. All right, let's go to the next thing. So what we will look at some of these things, but some of the things that you want to consider when you start your video ministry is building your media, building your team, the equipment that's necessary, doing a content audit, as I mentioned, the channels that you distribute your video on, and so those are some considerations that you need to look at. And so let me just look at the comments real quick. Okay. Okay, let's talk about building my team. Building my team is crucial, very important in actually being successful. And so some things that you consider is, am I going to work with a paid team? In other words, I've got a financial budget that I can allocate towards this project. Okay. So a couple of things might happen. You might have staff and they have skills. They might have video skills, etc. Right? Or you need to hire people from outside of the ministry and you have a budget for that. So people can pay them. Or you can do a barter. So you help us with ministry and we'll help you with something else. Now, if you're already mentoring people, it's easier to ask for this and people to help you. So obviously, a big part of the success of a lot of this is I'm sowing into other people's lives and they are sowing back into mine. Or another thing that you can build your ministry with, so paid, there can also be unpaid. So unpaid, the strategy is share your vision. I have a vision I believe in. This is what I want to achieve. Who wants to do it with me, right? And making it clear that, listen, this is a volunteer relationship. So we're looking for volunteers. Who wants to serve? And casting the vision and talking about the benefits of serving in that way. Like you're going to develop people skills. You're going to learn skills in media. You're going to work interpersonal relationships. You're going to develop as a leader, etc., etc. So there's lots of benefits to that. And so people can set up boundaries and say, I'm going to give you so much time a week, or I'm going to, whatever the case may be. So it's important that you cast the vision. People don't know what you want to do unless you tell them. The Bible is very clear. You don't have because you don't ask. You need to keep on asking until you receive what you get. And so, first, very important, ask from God. Cast the vision. Let people come to you. Remember that Jesus said, if I'm lifted up, I will draw people unto me. So if Jesus and what he is doing on earth is you want to just be part of that, I believe you'll be successful. Then obviously doing a content audit is very important. We might go into that today. Don't know. We'll see. But do a content audit. And let me maybe just explain to you quickly. Go and look at, remember I said to you at the beginning, where can I get inspiration from my content? I go and I like, where can I get inspiration from my content? And I go like, what are the places that I can go and look? Books, sermons, teachings, courses, etc., etc. So now what we do here is we go to those sources and we do a content audit, a full audit, and say, okay, for instance, for me, 2007, I did that and I went, okay, what am I strong in? I'm strong in vision casting. I'm strong in building teams. I'm strong in that kind of thing. So I had a series where I taught on these things and I pulled them out. I converted them to transcribe them, and I actually published a book that way. And so that's what I did. I went and I said, okay, I preached on this. I did object lessons. There's a couple. I did a conference. So there's a couple of stuff. So all the content that you've created. And I think once you go and sit and you look on your computer, everything that you said, look in your church's database, look at what have you done the last couple of years, and you'll be surprised to find content in different places. If you've done a conference, if you've done a roundtable, if you've done a mentorship program, everything is content. And even if the content is just here, you didn't make a video, recorded audio, nothing. If the content is just here, you'll be surprised. Next, what kind of skills are needed for me to have in my team? And that's a big thing that we work on. All right, let's look at some of the skills that you'll need. Obviously, you'll need a videographer. So make a ministry media project work, building the team for that, you're going to need a videographer. And there's a couple of things here I'm going to talk through. I'm going to show you that you have the potential and some reservations that I have. So I'm going to share with you some things which I say you should rather not do. Okay, so you're going to need a videographer. You're going to need an editor. And often the videographer and editor can be the same person, and that's okay. If you have an editor that just focuses on editing. So let's say God's blessed you, you have the finances, or you have a person serving you and they focus just on editing. That's great, because you want to go and do the video production, and then an editor. The editor obviously will be in the briefings. They'll spend a lot of time with you. You need to tell them what is the objective, what do we want to get at, and so they'll focus on storytelling through the editing. What is the objective we want to get? What's the look? What is our brand? All those things, and that's how they will edit it. So if you have two different people, that's great. If you only have one person and he does videography and editing, it's great. Here is a concern that I have and kind of warning. Often your videographer does a lot of video or animations and so on, and so they get stuck with that, and editing falls on the wayside. And so your editing you could say, listen, production, do it in silos, projects. Like, let's do the production, then let's do the editing. Let's get them out. Now we have the content. Now we launch the platform. Because what we've done before is we've gone and we produced. Next week, we expect the editing of the first video to be done. We want to post it. And so the editing gets behind. And so the whole platform starts suffering. And that's not good. Okay. Animation, right? It's also a video. It's a different format. We have a full course on our platform on animation specifically. And writing, transcribing, that's a person. Graphics is a person. Remember that in this specific teaching, we're focusing on video. So I'm going to just focus on the video elements. All right. Again, videographer, editor, those could be one person. It's better if they are separate, because the editor can just focus on editing. That's his responsibility and job. The animator also should be a different person. They can be the same person, but then if you're going into, okay, I'm going to work with animation as a ministry as well, remember that the one person is now going to be taxed, and it's not good. So I would rather I would suggest that you have a different person for that. And obviously, you'll see the equipment and the skills could be translated to a photographer, but I would have a different, separate photographer. Don't let it be the same person. So here, you could see it as an opportunity. Let me just see what's going on here. You could see it as an opportunity. Hey, here's a guy. He's a videographer. He could edit my stuff. He's also good at animation, or he can do animation, and let him do my photography as well. Don't do it. Please, please, please don't do it. It's the worst thing that you can do. That person's going to burn out. They're going to be overextended and taxed, and your relationship is going to suffer because of it. Please don't do it. It's better if those are 4 different people. If they can't, your videographer and editor can be the same person. It's not going to be bad, but don't give them the animation and the photography responsibility as well. Okay, let's talk about equipment. What kind of equipment do I'm looking for? Obviously, let's talk about video production equipment. Now, in our platform, we've got a full segment just on equipment where we talk. Maybe we'll look at that one day. Maybe I'll get some people on a call or a webinar and ask them, okay, how talk to us through the equipment portion, right? But here, all I want to say is don't let your lack of equipment stop you from getting started. We spoke about that before. That's my biggest heart and my desire is to make sure that you at least get started, even though you don't necessarily have everything that you need. All right. So make sure you've got your video. Video equipment is going to be at least a mobile device. There's going to be, next to that is budget cameras. Next is professional cameras. And you could have all of that. So those kind of things that you need video editing that's going to happen. So you need software to do that with. There are free versions, but free versions will always be limited, and you'll be limited in your capabilities. Now, if you just get started, all you want to do is you want to have an intro produced. I don't know if we'll talk about that today, but you want to have an intro produced and an outro. And the outro could also be done by you in your video delivery. But very, very important is an editing program where you can at least cut the mistakes out and cut the video up and then export it. Okay, at least. So other things like color correction and audio matching and those kind of things, those are things that you'll probably get in the professional editing programs. There are programs like Idios, like Adobe Premiere Pro, and I personally use Pinnacle Studio. So you need software. So that might be a good investment to have to do, and those are usually annual investments, annual subscriptions or annual software subscriptions, and it's important that you do that. Next one is audio production equipment. All right, we're not going to talk about that. We just want to focus on the video. Okay, so how do I refine my message? There's some elements that's important when you're preparing your videos, when you're preparing to deliver your videos. And what are those? One is you got to ask yourself, what is my message? And let me just pause here and go back to the community and see if there's any questions or responses there. Nothing yet. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. Let's go back. Refining your message. Okay. So you want to ask the question, what is my message? And so this question could be answered in various ways. One is, what is my overarching ministry? What is my overarching message? What has God called me to do? And so often, let's just see what's happening. I'm seeing my video feed is okay. We're all good. Thanks. I'm just checking the videos are working and is good. So obviously, when you establish your ministry, this is an exercise that you'll do. But one of the things that you want to do is you want to ask yourself, what is my message? And obviously, sometimes there's an overarching theme to that, right? My message is hope to humanity through Jesus Christ, etc. Now you break that message down. Okay, who is that message for? Right? It is for destitute children. It is for young people. It is for single mothers, whatever the case may be. So it's very important that you refine that when you start with your messaging, because it will influence your videos and the delivery. When should my message be delivered? Okay, and this will talk about the scheduling of your actual videos. When are they going to go out? Which days? Because you want to reach the maximum audience and you want to get the most people on that specific goal. How much depth is in my message? In other words, if I speak about leadership, how long can I speak about that? How much can I delve out of myself to talk about leadership? Next is, how much time have I put into developing my message? So there's this message. How much time have I put into it? And remember, I said to you somewhere in the beginning that you're going to spend about 90% in the preparation process. So ask yourself this question: how much time have I put into it? Have I put enough into it? How much more time am I willing to put into delivering and developing it? Right? And then lastly, how much time? I think we did that already. Okay. So let's talk about your comfort zone in video, your comfort zone for a moment. And I think most ministers are comfortable with audio. Like I'm doing my thing, and the probability that there's an audio recorded or audio is going to come out is very high. Most people are comfortable with that. So if that's your comfort zone, stay there and develop into that. But I'm thinking that you're already delivering your content. If you just work a little bit on your appearance, right, and your confidence, and a camera would not be that intimidating to you. In fact, there's some ways that you can really help yourself. So having a trusted person like one of your mentees or your right hand or your armor bearer in the room while you're delivering content. Remember that your eyes should always be on the camera. Or it could be off camera and you could literally be talking to him and it looks like an interview video. So I'm talking to someone and you are a bystander when I'm talking to someone else. They could ask questions, I could answer them, I could ask questions. And so it's like a mentoring session. And you are a third party as a viewer and you're participating in that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's also value in that. So that's one of the methods that you can overcome your problems with being comfortable with that. Another one is having an audience in front of you when you're delivering the content. Still speaking to the camera, but in most cases, you're not going to look at the camera in that situation. But there's a lot of ways. So these are ways that you can get back into it. All right. So your media preference could be audio, but I want you to try and push yourself to get into video. I've got all my clients on video. It's very, very important. And that's the optimum kind of format that we use because it has so much potential. It is audio the only thing you're comfortable with. Maybe you're comfortable with just writing, right? But let's talk about if you're not going to deliver your content, like you are a writer and you write, it's brilliant. I would love to speak the way that I write. And so over the years, I've tried to get that to that place, right? But if you're comfortable with writing and you want to do video, then maybe you could go and read what you've written and have videos, and you could still be a ministry if you're not comfortable being in front of the camera. The next one, are you open to be stretched? The reason I say that is most of my clients have experienced a little bit of stretching with me, a little bit of a pushing over the edge, not a bad edge, just so they can fly, and most of them appreciate that. If you're not open to all this, go back to your comfort zone, but there's lots of ways to get around that, as I explained before. My strong suggestion is that you do videos. As a ministry, as a business, do as much videos as possible. I'm doing this video today, or this teaching, because it helps me build my credibility. It helps me build my visibility. It helps me serve. Right now, I'm serving 3 different audiences. I'm serving this one video that I'm doing live. I'm serving my Facebook community, my profile. I'm serving a Facebook group with 170 or 80 odd members in. They're not all watching at once, but they might watch it later. And then my YouTube community, right? And I believe that over time, a lot of momentum is going to happen. And I'm committed to this. There's commitment. You need to make a commitment to the scale that you want to be on. And here we spoke about the scale. What is the scaling that we're talking about? We're talking about, is it going to be 1 series? Is it going to be 2 series, 3 series? How many videos? And how much are you going to pull out of that? Is it going to be, are you going to do a video, and then an audio, and then an image, and then a text? Commit, choose the scale that you have the capacity for, and then commit to that. And do it for at least 3 months. I want to encourage you to do it for 18 months. My mentor did 1,000 live videos like this before he broke through. But when he did, it was incredible. He's got a great business and influence today. And it started with just pushing through and doing those 1,000 videos that he did on his expert topic. And today, one of the most influential people in his field. And that's why I want to do this as well. I want to do this as often as possible, as most as possible, to build my credibility and my audience and my value. And so you need to choose in your capacity, what are you comfortable with, and then commit to that and do it. So the scale is easy to say. If we speak about the potential that this strategy gives you, it's easy to say yes and you want it. The challenges comes with the discipline of actually doing it, right? And so the Bible talks about look away from the distractions unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. In the same way, we have a lot of distractions in our surroundings that takes our focus away from this. I believe creating content for a ministry is one of the primary and biggest responsibilities that they have. Because for me, the objective at the end of the day is the soul that's saved, the life transformed, the freedom that someone receives. And so I have a responsibility not just to give it to the 10, 15, 50, 250 people that's in my congregation. And today, video is such a powerful component. It's become essential because we now have, in this time, restrictions all over the world on how many people can come to church. And some churches are big. They have 5,000 seaters. And so it's not worth it for them to go and open the full operations for just 100 people. And so until that happens, what do? We live stream, we pray every day, it's just video has so much potential, which we have to use. And again, we have a responsibility to do that. And I was talking about, I'm going to give you a key to what I'm doing and what I have also done for 2021 in terms of making sure I stay true to my commitment to my platform and my community. One of the challenges, when you have challenges with discipline, the reason why it's important that we address this is because you'll find the potential of this is to reach incredible momentum. And like I said, my mentor did 1,000 episodes of a certain format, and that skyrocketed his career, broke through. And so I've got this saying, and I want to just get it right. I want to share this with you. I think it's momentum. Here it is. Patience is the power to let momentum reach critical mass. And when it does, nobody can stop it. And so your ministry will become a juggernaut, a powerful force in the kingdom, if you keep on persisting and keep on doing it. So the first obstacle for most of you is to get started. And if you don't start with video, remember, I said to you, start using this. But the other keys to that, and maybe this is just a bonus, I haven't got it in the content, is when you're using this, right, make sure that you have a steady place where the camera can be steady. Okay, it's very important that it's steady, it doesn't move around. Because I have this habit of doing selfie videos and then it moves around and my audience gets they get difficult. The other thing is make sure that there's proper lighting. Okay, natural light out of a window if you're in a building, outside, not too much sun because hard light is also not good. Just natural light, but lighting is important. Audio is very important. So preferably, I'm speaking in front of the mic, preferably you want to have a small lapel mic. You can get one here in South Africa. Go look for a Boya mic, lapel mic. You get that from Takealot. It's like 200 rand. Put it on you, plug it in your phone, good audio. And that's the best way to start. Start ministering like that. I'm really challenged with this this thing of one day I want to just go and broadcast this live thing and I want to share my testimony. And it's something that I think every Christian should at least do. Imagine if there's a day like Testimony Tuesday and everybody just shares their testimony in video, like live video. It will be crazy. We'll plunder darkness. I spoke about patience a little bit. Okay, let's go back a little bit to discipline again. So what's going to keep you back is you need to be commitment to scale, but commitment to the schedule. Like, I'm going to commit to doing 1 video a week. That's fine. If you say I commit to 3 videos, do that and be consistent. What's going to help you, what I've done is I've gone and booked the publishing of my video on my platforms. I've booked it out in my calendar. Say that time, I'm going to do that publishing. Now, for me to get to that video, I need to record it. So I've got a slot in my calendar where I record the video. Then after I recorded it, I need to post-produce it. So now I have to go and publish it. I have to convert it. I have to transcribe it, etc. Post it everywhere, distribute it, etc., etc. It's like a 3-hour process, but it's my platform. I'm committed to my platform, and so I've booked it out. And so my videos that goes out weekly, once or twice a week, there's a production day that it has to go to. So I go book that production day in my calendar out. That production day needs some preparation. So I've booked out preparation for that day. So everything, we go to the objective, we say, that is pinnacle, that's what we're going to do. Maybe for you, it's like launching my media ministry. I'm saying, okay, that day we're going to launch it. Okay, that's great. Now, what needs to happen for that to happen? Now I need to go back and reverse engineer the whole process and make sure everything is in place and then stay committed to it. If there's an email or a phone call or something happens when you need to do content or you need to work on your platform, shove it aside, do it later. There's nothing more important. Not a phone call, not an email. Nothing is more important than you getting the word that God's deposited in you out, because someone might need it. And you might do it later. You might not do it at all, but someone else needed it. It's like life to them. And it didn't happen because of challenges. So again, going back to patience is the power that causes momentum to reach critical mass. And resilience is another key. Just keep on going. My platform is slowly growing. These are things I'm teaching you that I know. We've seen it on the customers' platforms, etc. Now I'm eating my own dog food. I'm implementing this as well. And so patience is something I understand. Resilience is like, if you watch WWE, those guys have to pay their dues. When they come up, they have to go fight someone. They have to lose. And it's not nice. They have to take booze. They have to become a heel. But they work through that process. Remember I said there's no progress without process. So it's a process that takes. You have to be resilient. And through those battles, you keep on going, keep working through criticisms, keep on working through persecution, keep on going. In 2008, I had a flourishing media ministry. Flourishing. I was one of the top bloggers in the country. I preached the gospel. I shared biblical insight or thoughts on what's happening in the kind of atmosphere, in the political arena, in the news. And I got a lot of persecution, attacks from everywhere. In the blogging community there was 1 or 2 people that attacked the message. They attacked me, my character, and then there's someone that just wrote a scathing article, put it online, and criticized my message, my alliances, my whole ministry, pulled it apart. And if you're not thick-skinned and you're not purposeful and you don't know exactly what you're called to do and you're committed to it, those things are going to thwart you. So that was my darkness of the soul, dark night of the soul process. It was very difficult for me. And I stopped with my ministry for a long time. And so later on, I just started going again because I healed and whatever. Today, I haven't had that level of persecution before. It might come. Am I going to be prepared for it? That's what resilience is about. Is keep on going amidst that. And so there are ministries that call them heresy hunters. And they criticize ministries. And so sometimes, ministries do err or error. There's error. And you know what we need to do is we need to pray for them. We don't need to go publicly and say, these guys are from the devil, blah, blah, blah. I don't feel those ministries have any value. And so let's talk about your series topic layouts, right? And so how do I find these series themes? Again, go back to the preparation process and say, go find your disciplines. So for me, it's leadership. It is media. It is building teams, etc. And so those are things that I'm strong in that I could do very good series on. And then go and find series, define it, and then commit to it. Then lay out your topics. So it's going to be a theme, topics. And I wish I could show this to you in like they do in the movies. Like, okay, there's me. I'm going to pull apart. Okay, there's a theme. There's another theme out of me. There's another theme. Move aside. 3 themes. Click on it. Goes leadership, team building, media. There's my themes. They are now set out. Now I'll go click on them and I'll like pull them apart like a concertina. I say, now there's 12 topics underneath it. So leading in a crisis, leading a family in a crisis, leading your business in a crisis, etc., etc. Do you see what I'm busy doing? Laying out my topics to make sure I make an impact. Then ensure your knowledge. Make sure that if there's one of those topics that you can talk about it in depth, giving value, right? And then deliver from your heart when you do that. And we spoke about that before. How do I maximize my efforts? Let's go back to the community and just see if there's any comments that we can pay attention to. Tuma again, probably my biggest fan. Tuma, Charles, Ivan, thank you. We are benefiting from all your effort and we appreciate. I appreciate you too, Tuma. Thank you. Let's look at sharing this with our communities after this. I believe that will benefit the body of Christ, and I'm looking for the outcome. All right, and let's go back to the teaching and see how far we are. So I want to land this at some point. Go present. Let's see which slides we are. We've got 39 slides, I think. And we've got quite a way to go. All right. So how do I maximize my efforts when I'm working with the video for my ministry? All right. And so let's go back to the 4 pillars. Okay. Content, consistency, community, collaboration. So there's some of the things that I taught there about content and consistency, and we spoke about collaboration, right? And I maximize it by my conversion. So I video, convert it to audio, convert. So I get the maximum out of I spoke about repurposing as well. Like using a video, you could do a watch party on a video later on. Really, let's talk about location planning. Like, where do I shoot my video? Let's look at what is the ideal location. The ideal location for you to go and shoot your videos is on a well-lit location. So in other words, there's lots of sun coming in, and if you can't, then obviously lights, but it's better to rather use lights to fill in than to light specifically. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's very important. You need a background conducive to the message that you want to share. So you want a background, like it could be a desk with a bookcase behind you. It could be one specific set we did, and we used the auditorium seats as a background. And so it should be a background conducive to your message. It should be a layout conducive to your message. You could use props. So it's, when you're doing a series like we did on that book, Preaching a Celebration, good to have the book around with you. Just as a prop, you could refer to it. So there's lots of things that you could do. What are some of the team roles and responsibilities for the people that will be working with me on this project? And so it's good to have a project manager. The project manager could be you, but if you want to focus on the delivery and really be in that, you want to maybe have someone that's going to manage the project with you. And they are managing making sure that you're prepared, the production day is prepared, they've got an agenda, they run the briefing, they get the team together, etc., etc. So that's very important. Then obviously a content production team. Sorry for the misspelling there. A team that's put together that's going to focus on all the elements, depending on your scale that you committed to. That's going to focus on those elements, the post-production elements. You need a platform administrator. So you need someone that's going to post your content, and you probably need a community manager as well. Someone's going to pay attention to the community. Now, I suggest that you're the community manager. So you could have an administrator that posts the content and according to a schedule, etc. But when there's comments, that you're the one that comments. That is clear. Like, I'm the person commenting and you give context. It's very important. Then you have content creators. So people that's going to take your video and make an audio of it. That's going to make, transcribe it, etc. You have a stats analyst, so someone that watches the stats, like your YouTube stats, and say, okay, this video did really well. Next time we film, let's focus more on this topic, that kind of thing. Your delivery preparation, preparing for delivery. Again, going back to this, it's very important. I'm not going to mention this again. I'm just going to rehash it. What's my message? Who is it for? When should my message be delivered? And we spoke about that already. Now, how do I develop external media suppliers? So I mentioned before that, when you're building your team, you're going to say, hey, I have a budget. I don't have a budget. Now, if you have a budget and you don't have people in-house that you're paying or volunteers, you're going to have to get people from outside to help you. How do I develop those suppliers? I could work from existing or good potential relationships. So look where you have relationships and ask them if they can help you. The next thing you could do is, it's important that whoever's on the team adapts to your church's culture, style, the formats that you want to use. Next, they need to be able to envision the end product. They need to know what it looks like. So you've heard me say this a couple of times. You look at, what is the end product going to look like? What is the objective? And then we reverse engineer that backwards. They need to know what that needs to look like, because building up to it, everything that you do, you're going to finally have that picture and say, this is what it looks like. Right. You need to acquire buy-in from your external media suppliers. They need to be 100% on board. You need to share with them your vision. Okay. There needs to be training on how do I get a consistent style here. All right, here's a statement. One of the people I work with in the US, especially in the leadership space, says, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So it's important that you have the kind of relationship when you're not happy with a product that you can give feedback and say, for instance, you've done your video and the editing is not up to standard, or you're not happy with the end result. You can give them feedback in a loving way and say, I'd rather want it this way. And they adapt to that style. And so your team might not hit it in the first time, but you're going to want to work in that relationship going forward. If you're a cameraman, like I had an instance a couple months ago. We did content for our platform and I wasn't happy with the lighting, and it's my product and my platform. So I had to go, even though it was difficult, had to say, don't like the lighting. Let's do this. Let's move this. Let's put the plant there. Let's move the light here. Now I'm happy. It's important that you do that. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. And what are the 2 project destroyers? And I don't remember this, but what if I were to say, what are the project destroyers? I would probably say 2 things. Fear, right? Fear of what people would think. Fear of if there's any mistrust in a relationship, or pride. Like someone, I worked with someone before and I was responsible for the project. We had an external supplier come in and did the photographs. And we wanted studio photographs according to a different style, because again, we had a vision of what the outcome was going to look like. And he was a wedding photographer, and so he just wanted to shoot that way. There was a bit of conflict there in the first part of it, until the person I was working with said, please follow his advice because he's responsible, and they adapted to that, luckily. But that's a case that could happen. And don't compromise on quality. If it's not right, fix it and get it right, because I in one of the organizations I'm a part of, that we have the same. If excellence, why accept mediocrity if excellence is an option? And so there's some ministries that I see their content and they do a full live broadcast, but the quality is horrible. The sound is horrible. You can't barely hear what they're saying. The lighting is not good. And so as a ministry, you don't want to do that. You want to try and make it as excellent as possible. Remember, why accept mediocrity if excellence is an option? Where do I find supplies? This is exciting. You can ask your current team for whoever's missing if they have referrals of people that they trust. You can advertise in your congregation. So be it a paid position or a volunteer position, you could say, this is what we need right now for the ministry to move forward or to reach its potential. And is there someone that wants to serve? Ask and inquire with ministry relationships. So you could ask pastors that you know, friends that you have, evangelists, and ask them, do they know of anyone that does whatever your needs are? You could ask and inquire from current suppliers. So you might have external suppliers already and ask them, like they might be doing video, and ask them, do you have an animator? Yes, we do. Okay, but that's going to cost. So just be wary of that. You could visit or inquire your local BNI chapter. I'm part of BNI. I'm very proud area and regional director in BNI in South Africa. And so I believe that if you go to a local chapter and you find people there, might be good. How do I negotiate the best media rates for my chapter? Now, one of the things is that you need to do is you need to know what the rates are, the going rates for whatever you need. So if you do video production, you need to know what that is, what the prices are. Is there adaptability? In other words, let's say the going rates are 9,000 for a production day and you have 5. Are they adaptable to that? Are they willing to help you with that? Help your ministry grow? Break the project into components. So as a project manager working on a ministry's platform before, we broke the thing in compartments. We had a videographer, we had a photographer, and then we had an audio person. And so we broke it up into components. And that's good. Pay what is fair. There's a scripture I love in, I think it's, I'm not sure if it's in Exodus, but it speaks specifically about, it's a proverb, sorry, where it speaks specifically about don't go and negotiate someone's rates down to the bare minimum that they can accept, and then go to your friends and brag about the bargain. Scripturally unsound. Cheaper is not better. Okay, I've done that before. I've had a supplier did our videography, and then he had a heart attack. I got someone else in, got much. It's about half the price. The quality was not there. So cheaper is not better. Daily rates, project rates. Now, some clients, some suppliers, they like, we'll charge you this much for a day if it runs over to the next day, so, or a project rate. Now, in most cases, be fair. You need to run your project on the day that you try and get all the objectives met in the day, because be mindful of that person that needs to come the next day. Maybe he can't come the next day because he's booked for something else. Or, if you're booking for another day, you need to honor him for that. Now your project production budget goes up and your line manager is going to be unhappy. And so rather make sure what the rates are going to be and then work around that. Consider all the project elements. Sometimes you have a videographer, but they need extra lighting. So there's a cost to hire that. Consider all of that. Let's pause a little bit and go back to our community and see what they're saying, if there's anybody that has any questions. All right, so I just want to say, anybody that's watching right now, if you have any questions, please post the questions up. We'll answer them right away. And we're going to show you how you can get involved with our ministry and how we can work together in a moment. Let me just see how many slides are left here. Okay, almost done. 9 slides to go. It was a marathon. This is my longest kind of video and presentation I've done before. Very important that you understand that when you're doing production of your videos, that you produce with a clear vision. What are your objectives? I mentioned this before. Know exactly where you're working towards, because that will influence everything else. What does the project look like? What what is it going to look like when it's done, right? And so again, it talks about vision. You know exactly where you're going. Who is your audience? Because if your audience is youth, the look of your production is going to be different than if it is a 50-year-old man. Be aware of that. How much time is available? That will influence a lot. So you might go into a production that listen, we need to push from 8 to 8 at night because we need to get 24 videos out plus 6, whatever. Your person that's delivering the content might not know that. And so they think they're going to be finished by 3 o'clock. And so you're missing out on another 5 hours because you didn't communicate effectively. It's important that you give the time available. What is the capacity of the deliverer? Again, how much can they give? How old are they? When would they get tired? Do they need a break? Etc. etc. All those things you need to consider. And if you haven't done proper preparation, you won't know these things. What is the ideal environment? So he might be energized working in his own church environment. If you take him off campus to a venue, might not be comfortable there because comfort is environments are often comforting to people. You might be in a different place, and so might get agitated by the 5th or the 6th hour because it's not in a good environment. Share your vision with the whole team. Make sure they know what it's going to look like. So make sure that they have all this information that I share with you. Make sure they know what the objectives are, what's the project going to look like, who's the audience, etc., etc. Right, let's talk about appearance for a moment. I don't think we need to talk to this, but just some tips. It's important that whoever you're working with, will have different preparations. So this is part of the preparation process again. Ladies, pampering, have their hair done, nails done, gives them confidence, better delivery. Male, groom them, haircuts, shaving, maintenance, again, confidence, better product. Wardrobe, speak to them about what kind of clothes do I need for this production, to achieve the look that I'm looking for. If they don't have it, can we take them to go and get it? Do you have a personal shopper, etc.? So preferably, these are the things that we need on production. That we need 2 smart outfits, 1 dark, 1 light with interchangeable shirts and tops. 2 casual outfits, 1 dark, 1 light with interchangeable shirts and tops. And then you need an accompanying suit jacket or sports jacket if they are not suits, if your smart outfits are not suits. Belt and shoes to match. So if your belt is black, your shoes need to be black. If your shoes are brown, your belt needs to be brown. And obviously, your clothes need to match it. You can't have a brown shirt, a brown pants, a brown shoes, and a brown. It's not going to work. You're literally going to fade away. Accompanying suit or sports jackets, we spoke about that. And then what happens on production day? How do I prepare for production day? This is how you do it. You need to go and confirm the location. Make sure they know the date has been confirmed. They know you're coming and you have access to all the venues that you need. Confirm the dates with the crew, the venue, and the person delivering the content. Production day brief meeting. So have a brief, preferably the day before. Often I have them right on the day. Like people arrive, before we set up, we have a brief. It's better to have it beforehand so everybody knows what to prepare. They've brought everything, etc. Have an equipment checklist. Very important. From your briefing, you know what equipment's needed. Have a checklist. They check that before they leave the office or the home for the venue that morning. Make sure there's refreshments. I felt very bad. I was sheepishly reprimanded in a good way by a friend of mine that delivered content for me. We didn't prefer refreshments. And so he said to us, somewhere in the middle, he said, is there no refreshments for the talent? And so I have refreshments for the people, like water, juice, anything sugary, and just at least some snacks. And this is for everybody, the talent, the object, the person, the crew, everybody. Communicate and confirm all call times. Like the crew needs to be there at that time. The subject, the person, the talent needs to be at that time, etc., etc. Okay. What does the production day look like? Here is an agenda for the day. The full 9 hours is going to look like this. Crew arrival, no later than 9. 9 is actually too late, so it's better. It's like 8, 7:30. But we are cognizant of people that have families, children, need to drop their spouses at work, that kind of thing. Studio setup takes about 45 minutes. So your lighting is going to be packed out, set up, your cameras, your sound checks, etc. Then there's a photo shoot that happens. Now, the photo shoot can happen if it's a different person. Your photo shoot can happen during the 45 minutes time. Okay. You do screen tests. That could take 10 minutes, but it's prepared to have 20 to 30 minutes. Screen tests are about making sure the lighting's good, doing a couple of tests with sound delivery, making sure that it's perfect. Everybody is happy. All right. Then you do your first series video shoot with your first wardrobe and set. It takes about 3 hours to do that. Then you have a break for 30 minutes, light lunch, not a heavy lunch because your subject's going to get tired and it's going to be a problem. Then your second series video shoot and second wardrobe with 3 hours in your set, and then packing up about 30 minutes. That's your agenda, right? What kind of skills do you need on this day? Photos, best for our method is photos that is used in the rule of thirds. I don't have time to go through that right now, and we're actually not focusing on a video. Just make sure that your subject positioning is off the center, preferably using the rule of thirds. Your composition, make sure there's the framing is done well. So as the subject is well lit, good in the place, there's no distractions. The best lighting is three-point lighting. Don't think we can go through it in here today. Your filming process, you need to do audio checks, you need to do sectioning. Okay, so it is set up camera, check audio and sound and video, go action, deliver, stop, check. There's lots of different things to do. And I think this is the last slide, perhaps. This is really great. I think. Let me just check on the community quickly. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Let's do this real quick. We had a good session today. I didn't know it was going to take this long, but I gave you my best today. I hope you see that. I hope you appreciate it. We got 4 more slides to go. Behind the scenes content is great. When we do production days with videos, we work into our schedule and our planning to do behind the scenes content. So we film wide shots, we do introductions of the team, we speak about every section that we're doing. And this is a really, and I also don't have time to go through the behind the scenes content to show you a video. It's about 3 minutes, but it's really, really powerful. And it's really powerful in kind of promoting what you've done, building up to it, those kind of things. And so the purpose of behind the scenes content is to build up your content that you're going to release, tell the story, meet the team, that kind of thing. Elements of good BTS is behind the scenes is wide shots, it's time lapses, it is introductions, it's interviews, those kind of things. Angles conducive to a great video is always from the side, not full frontal where people are looking into the camera, because that looks staged. Post-production, make sure that you have an intro and that you have a call to action and that proper branding is done. So sometimes there's a collaboration being done and it's important to brand both. Soundtrack hacks. So just quickly, my producer, what he does, my videographer, what he does is he uses a third-party content supplier that gives us the soundtrack. And it's really awesome. He then goes and actually produces the soundtrack as well. And so at points where we're talking, he brings the big musical parts he brings down, and there's just background like strings or basses or whatever. Let's quickly talk about suggested video delivery. Okay, the components for video delivery is that you're going to share an intro. Right, you're going to have an intro of the video that's done in post-production. You're going to introduce yourself. It's important that you share your name, the organization, and what is your value proposition. Then go into the video. What are you doing in the video? Why does it matter to that person that views it? Deliver your content, maybe do a short conclusion and a call to action at the end. Okay, here it is. Welcome, introduction, content delivery, conclusion, call to action. All right, Facebook Live and Facebook YouTube live stream. What I'm doing today is I'm using a tool called StreamYard, where I'm delivering the content that I'm doing here, and I'm streaming it in 3 different places: a Facebook group, Facebook on my profile, and also on on YouTube. So that's just some of the things that you can do, and I think we might be done. Thank you so much for watching this presentation. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, and then I'm going to quickly show you just where you can get more information. All right. And this is really, really amazing, and I'm going to share this with you. Okay. And a lot of the content that I share today is in this platform, and I'm going to quickly share this with you. Thank you so much for those that have watched so far. I appreciate you, and I feel very honored to have been serving you today in this format. And let me quickly share. Oh my goodness. Just give me a second here. I want to just end off this this presentation by sharing with you a resource where you can get a lot more value, where we can engage with you. And all right, we're almost there. Give me a second. Really, really powerful. Thank you for watching so far. This is where you can get a lot more value, and where you can really get everything that we have created in the last couple of years. Yes, while it loads, this is a platform called Ministry Media Mastery. We started building this in December last year, and really when lockdown happened in South Africa in March, we really started putting a lot of effort into this. We currently have about 11 courses, 12 courses on the platform. I want to quickly 12 courses on the platform, worked really hard. 12 courses in 8 or 9 months is really, really amazing. You can see which clients I've worked with before, what we've done for them, etc. And it is really, really amazing. So I'm going to share with you this page. It's loading a bit slow today, but I'm going to share with you this page. It's called our Ministry Media Success. And so here you can see how does our method work. You can watch a video of why we believe it exists. We'll give you a walk through our platform. You can see of a lot of the courses that we've got, what is inside of these courses, what are they about. We've got amazing things like marketing fundamentals for churches, Facebook ads for churches, animation for churches. We've done a lot of the 4 pillars today. We've done the content blueprint, done a lot of great interviews with people, project management, how to do proposals for television. You'll get a little bit of my story, why I'm doing what I'm doing with the video there, testimonials just to validate what we've done. There is the platform that we started with, some churches I've worked with, a showcase of the platform if you want to see that. And here is the behind the scenes video that I spoke of. It's about 3 minutes. What do you get? You get 12 months access to 12 new courses immediately, instant gratification. You get a new course bi-monthly. So every 2 months we try and release a new course. 24-hour support, regular partner calls. So these are just to communicate with you the developments on the platform. Monthly group coaching. So you are invited to a group coaching session every month where you can come and talk and ask your questions, and we coach you. We talk about processes, etc. We even have a process where we keep you accountable by sending you an email every day for a couple of things to do. And what does this cost? It costs about $149 for the entire year, and we are going to put it up to probably about $249 to $349 around there in the new year, because we believe a value of $1 per day is definitely there. The value is there. And so remember, this is up until New Year's. This price will still be there. So I would invite you to go and do that. I'm going to share this link with you in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Let me just stop the screen here. I want to thank you for joining me. For those that have gone through the whole thing, I think Tuma, you've watched all the way. Thank you so much. Just stop the screen sharing here. Those that are still watching, I bless you. Merry Christmas. Thank you so much from our family and our team here at Ministry Media Mastery to you. God bless you. This is obviously a great gift to give to a ministry. So go and click on the link, go and see what it's about, and click through. And you can go and load their details on as the user. For their names and when you can go and log in and give this as a gift to a ministry. It will bless them. It will bless them. We are called to do this. Second thing is, if there's any Christians that you know has a call on their life and they're about to launch a ministry and they want to get the word out, share this video with them or go and share our platform with them. I'm going to share the link with you at the bottom in the comments, and it could bless them. Thank you so much for everybody that's been watching. I am extremely honored that you would give me your time today. I'm about to go pick up my family. We're going to go into the shops. Enjoy your day, and I hope to see you again. This was a broadcast that I did specifically for the community over at Ministry Media Success. So if you want to go into community where we talk about media for ministry, go look for Ministry Media Success Facebook group, and you can go and ask access to that. You will join us. We do a live broadcast like this every week. But I hope that you found value. If you're watching this afterwards and you got all the way here, please leave me your one takeaway in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate that. But that's it for today. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the future.